Hi everyone, I'm Tanaaz from foreverconscious.com and this is your weekly energy forecast for the week of April 9th. So as we journey through this week, we are still very much working with that Libra full moon energy. There was some beautiful healing energy around this full moon that was very concentrated in the heart center, in our heart centers. So I hope you've been able to feel that, and I hope if you have felt that you have been able to work through it. And if not, don't worry, you can just sit with it. Give yourself permission to be. And if you haven't really felt it, or life has been busy and you've kind of like, oh, there was a full moon last week, I don't even know. If you're feeling more aligned with that way of being, use this week to really think about what insecurities, what blocks do you have around your heart that prevent you from showing up as your true authentic self in your relationships. I think, when we think about heart healing, and this was true for this full moon, that sometimes heart healing is setting boundaries. Sometimes it is cutting cords and releasing, especially on a full moon, relationships or relationship attitudes, behaviors, or ideas that no longer serve us. That may have come up for you. A relationship may have ended. You might have, or you might have had a healing conversation in a relationship in your life. All of that was activated on this full moon. But where I'm really feeling drawn intuitively, and maybe you're feeling this too, is that there's this energy under this full moon that is calling us to create deeper connections with others, to create more meaningful relationships in our lives, and to do away with the blocks, the traumas, the past experiences that block us from doing that. So maybe focus your attention there this week. How can you remove or become aware of any blocks or insecurities that are preventing you from going out into the world and having those true, authentic relationships that allow your inner light to just shine? And this is not just our relationships with those closest to us, it's our relationship with others in general, with our lives, with the world, with ourselves. How can you show up as more of your true, authentic self in those dynamics? So that's something to think about as we journey through this week. Also, on April 11th, we have the Sun and Jupiter aligning, and this is also going to activate some of that similar healing energy that was present under that full moon. That healing energy was really being activated under the full moon, but it comes from Chiron, which is an asteroid known as the Wounded Healer, which I've spoken about a lot. Chiron is dealing with healing through acceptance, not through necessarily trying to fix and patch things up. Chiron says wounds are part of our human experience. They're natural, they're normal, they suck, they're horrible sometimes, but they're part of who we are, and we learn to accept them rather than fix them or patch over them or pretend that they're not there. These type of wounds that Chiron is dealing with are the forever wounds that shape us, that mold us, that we carry in our hearts and can use as fuel to hopefully lead a better life, or at least as fuel of wisdom, a greater wisdom and understanding. So that's kind of where Chiron's energy is, and it's still going to be very active this week, especially as the Sun and Jupiter come together, because Chiron's very close to them as well. So the Sun and Jupiter coming together in traditional astrology is known as the luckiest day of the year. Now, I like to use sort of more intuitive astrology. My sort of belief is that astrology is neutral. It's just an energy expression, and then it's what we make of it. But if you go back and read the old astrology textbooks, they all say Sun and Jupiter coming together, luckiest day of the year, because Jupiter is considered a lucky planet. I believe you kind of have to make your own luck in this life, but this energy is really, really good for expanding your life. So what does that mean? Jupiter is a planet of expansion and abundance, and that energy can help to expand and create a bigger picture vision, not just for our lives, but for little situations in our lives, for greater understanding, for greater clarity. It helps us to kind of zoom out of the nitty gritty and to just take in the bigger picture. Sometimes, of course, we need to zoom in, but this is a zoom out type energy. So you can really use that in your life to focus on the bigger picture. If you have an issue going on that's sort of stressful or, is kind of running you down, how can you focus on the bigger picture? How is this event going to influence your life in 5 years, 10 years? Is it going to matter? Might help you to look at the bigger picture. It's also a good time to connect with the abundance that's already around you, because that is how you create more. And that is through just being grateful for everything that you have, your life, all the things that make you happy, all the lessons that you have learned, really tapping into the things that you feel grateful for. And then if you want to take this energy one step further, it's also about expanding your life, dreaming big. How can you expand your life, an area of your life, your work, your heart energy? What do you want to expand? How can you dream bigger for yourself and your life so you can lead the best life possible, the life of your highest frequency, your highest vision for yourself? It's a good time to think about that. Again, you can kind of maybe use that as a journal prompt. You can meditate on it, bring it into reality for yourself. So that's April 11th, a great time to do that work. You can also do a couple of days around that date. So April 10th to 12th is fine to maybe think about dreaming big, expanding your life and thinking about how you can live your highest expression and what that might look like and what steps you might need to take to do that. Great time to do that under this Jupiter-Sun conjunction. And of course, as we're getting closer to the end of this week, we're getting deeper into those eclipse energies. We are moving towards a solar new moon eclipse coming up on April 19th, 20th. This is a very, very powerful eclipse. It's actually a hybrid eclipse. So it is partly a total eclipse and then partly an annular eclipse. So these hybrid eclipses are very, very rare. And the fact that we're kind of getting these two eclipse states sort of indicates a crossing into a new world or a transition into a new state. It is a really, really big energy. There's a lot of new beginning, new chapter, door opening, transition energy around that eclipse, and it's coming up. So you might be feeling it. You might be feeling the sense that something new is coming, or your life may have suddenly taken a bit of a new direction. All of that, as we're gearing up to this eclipse, are things that we might start feeling. Eclipses are also a very highly sensitive time. So if you're just feeling a little more sensitive, a little more in tune with the energies around you, maybe a little more sensitive within, you're probably just also picking up on that eclipse energy because it is very, very powerful. So that's it for the week ahead. I'll be back next week. I hope you all have a wonderful, safe week. I am Tanaaz from foreverconscious.com. Thank you so much.